What's going on, everybody? Let's play some Outer Worlds. Kind of just getting started. Kicked off the game yesterday just to get into it a little bit. Tried streaming, so that's really why. But ultimately, I'd much rather put these up and kind of hear what you guys think of the game. Obviously, a huge fan of New Vegas, Obsidian being one of the main kind of creators from that game, so really looking for a lot in Outer Worlds. Already have some things that I really enjoy about the game, some kind of interesting graphics. I feel definitely relate to New Vegas very well, but let's get into the game here. I'm in the first town. People digging graves for each other, which is pretty interesting. Kind of the overall. Let's take a quick look at my character. In a lot of these games, I've really enjoyed guns, right? So that's here. I enjoyed talking, kind of the charisma side of things. Ooh, that's actually charm. Intelligence is always something I thought that would be good. I really care, like I said, about spraying and praying, right? Running through, shooting a lot, so figured I want my guns to kind of reflect that. If I can get more crit damage, great, because that's ultimately going to help once I get better weapons, I hope, in the game. And then charm, like I said, in most of the Fallout games I play, I'm gonna be, speech 10, right? I want to be able to persuade people, get out of situations. I just think it's fun. You see some different dialogue that way, and if I'm being honest, you could usually avoid some pretty crazy conflict as well. Overall skill tree, right? You can see that reflected as well, pretty well. Got some stuff into tech just from one of my perks. Started off, weapon durability, seeing as weapons deteriorate, thought that was something important. Learned this early from, that's actually companion kills. Anyways, things that give extra XP are great, but if I'm really gonna play for the long term, like eventually the skill isn't useful. Now I know it could help me advance sooner, quicker, but I'd much rather just play normally, kind of grab some other skills in here, because really, like I said, inevitably, I think this skill kind of won't matter. I get a reputation. Well, I'm neutral anyways. Did definitely convince everybody that I'm Alex Hawthorne, the current captain of the ship. Got basic inventory here as well. Got a few weapons. Currently looking to collect some grave fees at Silas, I believe is his name, outside of the main area, outside of Edgwater. There we go. Can see it right there. So let's go ahead and see if I can collect the rest
You're
of these.
making a mistake working for Abernathy.
Almost lost a finger.
Overall, the graphics are really nice. I think it's an interesting. It's actually pretty good. Interesting color scheme. Might have to do some work on my end just to try and push a little better graphics, or at least a little more consistent frame rate I would like to see. I know I'm in a more condensed area, so might play some effect. Conrad, what is that, 2 meters? No, Conrad Siddiq.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs.
Valid.
Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
See, I just never play these routes. I don't know. I'm in the first town. I don't want to go crazy.
We don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company.
I don't know about
I'm
Spacer's
Conrad.
Choice
You will
currently.
report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic
Seem
standards.
a little bit like the Brotherhood.
You will also report to me
me.
in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Seem like their way or the highway, kind of running people down. Kind of how Fallout 4 ended up being. Let me know in the comments section though what your favorite Fallout game was. New Vegas, for sure. Collect the dues.
Gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
That's not gonna work.
I mean that I can't possibly pay my gravesite fees. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
I'm a
I
nice
have
person.
to be, if only to prepare myself for my inevitable dressing down at the hands of corporate. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies. Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law,
You know,
and
when
through
you're
my
just
own
burying
hard
dead
work,
people,
I'd proven worthy of treatment.
definitely gonna be some plague around
Frankly,
here.
I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
Oh, of course you're open to suggestions.
Much obliged.
No,
What can I do for you? Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor?
it's interesting. I'm assuming it just shows you them when you can do them. I don't know. I haven't lost one. I liked in other games where it was either green, yellow, or orange, red. You know, and when you're definitely not going to make it happen. But
Experience was my teacher. Experience and... So, you want to be an embalmer. Brochures 1 through 5. Courtesy of the Spacer's Choice Department of Career Development. Go ahead. The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. Company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat all of us. So we
it's
treat
like a weird, you know, they're just gonna...
Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? Thoughtful-looking fellow, stares out of his office most hours. Edgewater has been good to me. I
Definitely
consider
gonna be
myself
interesting
privileged.
to talk to
I am
them
never
later.
wanting for work, not since the plague started. As the good vicar said,
No, I still need
What
to
can I
repair
do
my
for you?
damn ship.
a ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost... I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a... Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism, like he's... You'll find him in our local... He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his
Lot of
relatively short
dialogue.
tenure in...
For sure, a lot of dialogue.
Go ahead.
Alright, so... J is probably journal, right? Like... I'm going to talk about that. Phyllis is the other one. That's going to be a different quest. Alright. You know, I kind of want to know what happens if you just fucking drop somebody. God, you can talk to, like, everybody. Good, I'm trying to complete some damn missions. Cannery. I don't know. Graphics are good. I don't mind it. Oh yeah, can we hack terminals? Shit, we're just unlocked here. Don't want to go stealing stuff now. I want to start down that road.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
Ooh, wow. Settle down, sassy.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law
No idea,
requires
girl.
delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk.
Wow.
We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist.
Just
Between
phenomenal.
the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Great, I have all that weaponry.
Eugene wasn't family. Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death.
Oh
I'm the
my
one who found
God.
him, you see. So, suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage. First of all, that's a horrible thing to say. Secondly, yes, we did.
Of course.
When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard.
Kind of weird, kind of weird.
Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's choice. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which I'm just glad to put this whole... What's on your mind? I paid his... What's on your mind? Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come...
Alright, toodles. Bye. Alright, let's go talk to Silas. Vending machine. See, I mean, I don't know yet. Oh shit. Very nice. Considering I have no credits, so vending machines. Interesting. A little bit of Call of Duty action, I see. Ah, wow. See, the nice thing is no loading screens in big areas. It's always impressive. We're gonna go see what the IOU. Oh, look at that. Now it's daytime. Damn. Load time, obviously, right, to get in and out. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation?
Dude, we already talked.
Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Ain't heard that one since I was... Hope's just a rumor, friend. Ancient rumor at that. Maybe you've been out in... Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about. Trouble's in the asking. Or don't much care for folk running their mouths, spreading hoaxes and... Something I can do for... You run into any trouble? Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him, you gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room. That's the word, extortion.
Huh. Quality extortion, here we go. But the other mission is in here too. J journal. Haha, look at me killing him. Okay, well that's outside. Gold teeth. See, now would he really just let me back here?
What can I do for you?
Like, you know, would he really let
You
me
know
back
about
there?
Eugene? How?
Like, oh, you're just gonna read my records?
Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I did. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing more than a few. Those teeth were his personal savings.
Damn, can I
I
get some
can't ask
current
Silas to
teeth?
dig up a man's body. And the good Vicar Maximilian and I have never quite seen eye to eye. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paralysis. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication, and I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of...
Definitely gonna go back and tell her that he didn't commit suicide, right? Because that'd be like the right thing to do. Oh, yeah, I'll take a plasma cutter. I'm excited to see mods and just, you know, get further in the game, have more fun.
Grave digging's a fine
Yeah, I know.
Yeah? What about him? Well, yeah. Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. Let me know if you find it. Something I can do for you? You run into any trouble? Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. and I'll buy you a drink sometime. Suppose you've earned... Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. What? No. But I needed his fees because of his name. A for Ab... Yeah?
I'm definitely not melee. I want more ammo for... What the... What? Yeah, I'm just gonna assume those things can wreck me. Yeah, see, we got it.
Come out and play!
How? Come on. Oh my gosh, I can't hit anything. There we go. I should really start breaking this down. Like, I don't know. Should probably go back to that vending machine, see if I can sell some. Ah, sick, there's more of them. So as a lot of us can tell, you know, I'm great with the falling damage. Honestly, I need to change this for sure. I need my... that. Aha. I'm just like grabbing everything because I don't really know what everything does yet. Like that. Points available. I need just more power. Just gonna drop all 10 in there. Not worth it, not worth it. this one could be sold higher. I don't use these. I feel like, I mean, they just all go away, right? Because I don't need them. I think so. That thing looks scary. There's like 30 of them in here. And I have to ask, like, how am I supposed to take all these people out? There's literally tons of them in here. I'm like level 3. We'll have to come back. I'm trying to like sell some stuff at that vendor that I found. So, they repopulate. Which is interesting, and they're looking at the dead ones. Just run back in.
Somebody's been spinning a tale about a lost colony.
Alright, so we are for sure not just gonna break our legs every time. Hello, vendor. What can I sell you? what do I even... So I currently have a hibernation suit, which is literally armor 3. This is armor 4. Alright. Alright. Yeah, that's armor 9. We're already doing much better. Armor 10? We're gonna go ahead and buy that. So whatever's not down here. Haha, factory armor. We'll keep that. Alright. A little more armor, let's see how this goes.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct.
Definitely
My
like
apologies.
brothers.
I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Hit them all. Hit them all.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but There are people who live there.
So is this like blowing up in the first place?
The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town.
Persuasion.
Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. I am asking you to help us survive. Edgewater needs more workers or we will collapse. We belong to one community, the Spacer's
Alrighty.
Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful.
Fuck
I
yeah.
mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented.
Absolutely, I will take a companion finally.
You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Companions.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Oh, what's up? That's where we'll end today. Appreciate anybody for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content. And excited to keep playing Outer Worlds.